Collaboration is appreciated, and without any further ado, let's get started. Our first presenter is Adam Keller.
Good evening. My name is Adam Keller with the Alabama Education Association, and I want to start by thanking all of the educators and support staff who helped get the school year ready. You're awesome, and I appreciate all of you. I also appreciate Dr. Aiken for your spirit of collaboration and encouragement. It is a breath of fresh air compared to where we were a year ago. So I appreciate that, and our members do too. But I'm here tonight about citizen comments and questions, and I do appreciate the discussion tonight, but left out of the discussion is the ability to ask questions. This time last year, we could ask questions during the work session portion of the meeting, and I attended many of these meetings where members of the board and members of this cabinet on the front row, including Mr. Brooks, the attorney, actually remarked about good questions being asked by the audience. Parents, myself, students, other audience members, and tax-paying citizens. So that's been left out of the discussion, and I would appreciate if that's brought back. This is a public school system, and I believe the public should be able to ask questions at a public meeting. And to remind people, this was taking place the very last board meeting before our two new board members were sworn in. And I do think that set a very negative tone coming in with this new school board. So I asked the board to really reconsider that, allow us to ask questions. The previous bylaw was not hurting anybody. In fact, it improved public transparency and input, which is key to the success of our community. I also know that policy impacts employees. So teachers and support staff can't come here and ask questions. I don't remember the Huntsville Board of Education ever meeting and conferring with us, the professional organization, per 16-130 of the Code of Alabama, which actually requires the Huntsville Board of Education to meet and confer with us on any policies which affect the employees. So if you have that record, I would appreciate it, but I do not recall that. So I think all of us have a sense of optimism about Huntsville City Schools under this new leadership, but not allowing us to come and ask questions for clarification. I don't understand it. It is a purely political move, and I think we all saw that. Amen. So I look forward to the future amendment by Mr. McGinnis, and I look forward to all of us being able to ask questions once again. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Keisha McDowell.
Good evening. My name is Keisha McDowell. I am a parent of a student at Jefferson High School and a parent of a student at McNair Junior High School. I was introduced to the Cap and Gown project by my daughter in the 8th grade. She is currently attending Dr. Macy Jemison High School and has over a 4.0 GPA. It was the teachers that she came in contact with that allowed her to be in this program, and I think it's very efficient for her. When she first entered in this program, she was just a mediocre student. She wanted to go to school, and I don't know, Mom, I just want to be here. It didn't matter. She made A's and B's, but now she makes straight A's, and she strives to make straight A's because of the mentorship that was provided from certain teachers. I was very leery, getting her into this program at first because she wanted to go on a trip. I think in the 8th grade they went to Sanford University. And I was like, well, I can't afford that. And she told me, she said, well, Mom, you don't have to pay anything. And I was like, and I was still leery because who goes on a trip and you don't have to pay at least $10 to go to it? So, in essence, she went on a trip, and when she returned, I had an opportunity to meet some of the teachers and the staff that she would be involved with when she got to Macy Jemison High School. I was very, very impressed. This changed her model, the life of herself and the charisma and also what she does at that school. I have chaperoned, and I've gotten a chance to know these kids, and mentoring is everything for these kids. This program has assisted a lot of kids. I have some notes that I'll give to you shortly from students that have participated in this program and it has made a difference in their life. As you all know, Malik Williams graduated from Macy Jemison High School as our inaugural class, and he's now attending Georgetown University because of this program. He is a friend of my daughter. He is a friend of mine. I also wanted to implement that. I've heard several things about them removing this program from the school. And let me just say that after reading the consent order, in Part 5 of the consent order, Part A, it indicates that each district high school will provide students with equal opportunity to participate in community partnerships. And Jemison High School is one of those that deserve to have equal partnerships. Implementing programs such as cap and gown should not be hiring your friends or involved in the political aspect of this. The discernment of programs as this one should be what the kids want, because after all, this is what we are here for. And parents would like to be involved too, because some of us single parents still raise our children.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Chandra Jones.
Can you hear me? Great. Chandra Jones, 5107 Center Pine Circle. The First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution grants us the right to free speech, the right to peacefully assemble, the right to make a complaint to or seek the assistance of our government without fear of punishment or retaliation. Our founding fathers felt that this right was paramount to our society and its citizens, so it was granted to us before any other. Bullying is addressed in various legal documents, including the Huntsville City Schools governance policy. It is frowned upon. The state ethics document addresses the use of political office for personal gain. Under the umbrella of personal gain is pushing a personal agenda, especially if your personal agenda is a personal attack on the livelihood and well-being of a citizen. Somebody needs to make these facts apparent to the District 1 school board representative and her posse. The school board rep and her entourage have chosen to record people attending a lawful meeting.
Point of order. She referred to me. Point of order. Point of order.
Just a second. As long as she doesn't say any
She said the District 1 school board rep and her posse. Point of order.
Right, but as
That's
long,
disparaging. Point of order.
just calling your name isn't,
When you say posse, point of order.
but it's not a personal
Point
insult.
of, it is. Point of order.
No, it's-
Point of order.
She makes a disparaging comment, I will
Point
stop
of
her.
order.
But this isn't a disparaging
Yes,
comment.
it is.
I disagree.
Yes, it is. Someone came here and said Elisa Farrell input in her posse.
They actually have.
Point of order. No, they hadn't came up and said it during citizen comments. We have strict rules for citizen comments, and that is a point of order.
Posse isn't a disparaging term, so we're going to go ahead and
That is a
continue.
point of order.
Ms. Jones, go ahead and continue, please.
Madam President, can you extend my time, please?
Right now, you've got 1:10 left. We'll see if you need more time.
The school board rep and her entourage have chosen to record people attending a lawful meeting, publish the names of the people attending, and even create a subject for the meeting. How petty is it to walk out of a meeting to find that your elected official doesn't have anything better to do with her time than to record you? This isn't...
Point of order once again. Point of order. Now, if I cannot address back what she's saying, she needs to get back from calling me out, saying anything about me, because I have a lot of things I can say. So, point of order.
As long as she doesn't make
Okay, I need to be able to
comments.
respond.
You can if you
Thank
want.
you.
It'd be best if we let her finish first, though. Okay, so go ahead, Ms. Jones.
This isn't new. It's been going on for years, but since this madness started, there's been an election. It's understandable that individuals have the time, but you think that they choose more noble pursuits. After all, these individuals are allowed in our school, and one even chose to show up in the classroom of 2 of the children of parents attending the meeting the day after the meeting. Why are these people allowed in our school?
Excuse me, Ms. Jones, thumbs up.
Well, she was interrupted
Oh, yeah.
twice, so she.
Yeah, some of my time.
Let her finish. Let her finish.
I'll give you a few more, like 25 more seconds.
Why are these people allowed in our school from day one while parents were already actively supporting the school were told that they needed to wait for the principal's consent before they could volunteer? Who are these people and what are their positions? Have their background and social media footprints been checked? Why do certain individuals have the office at a school while the PTA no longer does? Why would it be said to me that we need to meet to unite our community, then attack the very meeting that was held to discuss the topics of concern? Dr. Alexander is doing some great things that we wanted and expected. But why are pillars that are already in place and successful being torn down? Why does the faculty and staff no longer indicate the racial makeup of the city? The consent decree states that we should not be able to look at the faculty and staff of the school and tell the racial makeup of the school. However, a picture of Jefferson faculty and staff makes the racial makeup of our school glaringly obvious. Do you realize?
Excuse me, Ms. Jones, I'm sorry.
We
25 seconds.
we added extra time, and now that time is up. Thank you.
Okay, first and foremost, I don't have a posse, I don't have an entourage. And all of a sudden now, it seems like the people that were kicked out of the school years ago, now that they're in the schools, you have a problem. Last year, the school ran rampant at Jefferson, fights every day. Kids leaving school going to lunch. Teachers could not control their classrooms because the principal was not implementing discipline. But I didn't see you come up here not one time and make a comment about that. Not one time. Now let me get this straight. Do we have PTA rooms in every one of our schools in the district? Okay, that's been verified. Now, the racial makeup, who takes care of that? Okay, can you please get those numbers so they can be provided to Ms. Jones so she will know that the racial makeup is closely monitored and watched? Now let me explain something. When I ran for office and I took this position, I didn't take this position for no vendettas against no one. I took this position because our kids' best interest was not being looked at and followed through. Now I'm here to work with everyone in my district, but one thing you would not do is you would not defame me. You would not come up here and do character assassinations because I don't do them to you. Now, we can work together for our kids. That's what we should be doing. And you're here tonight, but not one time have you reached out to me. And I've made myself available several times. I even told you at the back to school parade, I said, let's talk. Let's get together so our community won't be divided. I said that to you. And then for you to come to this meeting and come up here and try and make disparaging remarks at me, that's totally unacceptable.
And that it was allowed.
Mr. McGinnis, who's the next speaker?
The next speaker will be James Mitchell.
Good evening. I'm James Mitchell. I live at 6315 Creighton Avenue. Yeah, for over the past 2 months, I have been trying to establish effective communications with the new Jefferson administration. On every occasion, I have been put off until I confronted the administration about answering simple requests. Now, I'm speaking only as a concerned parent. Everybody knows that I am the president of the PTA. But I am not speaking as the president, just as a concerned parent. So no one can claim that the PTA came in here and did this. Now, if I'm treated this way, how are other parents being treated? Do they have to constantly request an answer to their concerns? This kind of conduct is not one that engenders confidence or trust in this school's administration. The administrator's own words stated that they want more parent involvement, yet their reluctance to answer concerns indicate that they want just the opposite. I am pointing this out because it needs to be corrected now before it gets worse. Failure to communicate is not an option to be tolerated. Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Wendy Robinson.
My name is Wendy Robinson, and I struggled with what to say today. I had plenty of things that I typed up and wrote up, and a lot of them were gripes and complaints. But I feel the need to state facts without blank accusations. Communication is very vital in order to have a successful school year. There must be a gateway for this to happen. It is very important that the community and parents feel that they will be received with open arms and impartial eyes when volunteering. With the help of the community and parent volunteers, it creates a network, a village that will provide for a successful school year. It is also vital to make sure that the students understand that there is a partnership between school administration and home. Extracurricular activities. As I lay in a hospital bed, I received several phone calls. I've been through several transitions with Johnson and Jemison, with as many principals as band directors. And this by far has been one of the most upsetting. I didn't understand, so I requested a meeting to meet with the current principal. I'm a parent that supports every program, not just the ones my children participate in. One of the programs in particular was the band program. I understand that Mr. Binion chose to move on. Some people in the community didn't like the fact that his band was small. In their first competition, they got all first places. He had 5 seniors that accumulated $500,000 in scholarships, all of which are attending colleges right now. My daughter, one of which. They also went to the MPA Music Performance Assessments and got all superiors. Now, I have been a victim, as well as the legally incorporated association in which I serve, for over 20 years that has been working with the band program. Some of the rumors came from administration and were spread. I spoke with my daughter, and she wanted to know all the way in Birmingham, Alabama, what has happened. And she had this to say: "Dear board, community, parents, and friends, allow us to enjoy and embrace our legacy. We are not Johnson High School, we are Jemison. I'm one of the first official graduating classes of May Jemison High School. Help us, don't hinder us. Help, don't hate." I want to leave you with this. Understand that it was not a loss for it to be changed and the district to give us Jemison High School. It was a plus and a win for our community. And in the words of the quote that I heard Ms. Pam Hill say, "The world is full of fools, and you can't control it." We need to learn when to pick and choose our battles and understand it is for the kids and not the adults.
Our next speaker will be Chris Horn.
Thank you for the invitation. I want to be able to talk about a couple of things. One, I'd like to have the opportunity at some point to have a discussion with you, Mr. Aiken, in terms of services combination with the city of Huntsville and creating a partnership, or at least an opportunity for them to combine and reduce costs of recreation and extracurricular services that may reduce costs. That was my primary focus. And certainly, though, I was amused by the comments at hand. I want to say, first of all, that I've worked with Lynette Story-Alexander, and she has done an outstanding job of coming into her position. It's only 1 week in the school year, and somebody who has started 1 week in the school year has the opportunity and right to create an atmosphere for her parents, her teachers, and her children, and have an opportunity to start and kick off something just like a football game or everything else. At the end of the day, one of the things that I'm very, very concerned about is this consternation that people get an opportunity to speak and be called disparaging names. I'm not a part of a posse. I'm a citizen. I'm not a part of an entourage. I'm someone who pays taxes. I'm not someone who's able just to look in the morning and say I belong to Jemison's district. I belong to J.O. Johnson's district. But when people come into this facility and they're wearing shirts that say Jemison and not Johnson, that's a soft form of bullying. You're attacking my history, my legacy.
Yes, please remain quiet while he's speaking. Okay, we're going to show everybody courtesy, so let's all please remain quiet. Go ahead, Mr. Horn.
I'd like to reclaim my 15 seconds, please.
Take care, Dave. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So when it comes to the opportunity, when people talk about your legacy, your heritage, your tradition, Mr. Aiken, that's something that we don't do in this community. You understand that we're not just a name of a building. We're police officers. The police officer standing on top of that wall right there in the green shirt is a J.O. Johnson person. The person who's out there in the city council right now comes from the J.O. Johnson area. When you start talking about Texas and you're from Florida, that's the way we feel about J.O. Johnson. It's not about a name, it's about a people. It's about our culture, our heritage, tradition. Alyssa, when you have Grissom High School, which is a palatial facility, you went in and Grissom was able to put Gus Grissom up, and it's beautiful. I love that place. But you were able to stamp your history, legacy, and heritage and tradition. Mr. McGinnis talked about his dear pal, talking about Morris Middle School, Morris P-8. You know how good it feels to be that. How would you like to come into a room and someone just say, you're not worth anything, but we're worth everything? It's time for us really to come together, but we need to take care of those people who decided with their votes that they wanted to change not only the opportunity, but when they got a chance to vote, they changed that seat over there, and Michelle Lanier Watkins represents this district. She's the person who represents our values, Mr. Aiken. She's the one who got 60% of the vote, Mr. Aiken, and they decided that this was the best interest of their community. 5,000 people walked these streets to say we wanted Johnson High School. I see about 5 people out here with a Johnson Jefferson shirt, but they're still wearing the blue and gold. You see that, don't you? They still want the Jaguar. You see that, don't you? So at the end of the day, when they talk about our principle and our fame, she's a J.O. Johnson Jaguar. These kids went to J.O. Johnson, and they should never be disparaged, and they should be uplifted and honored.
Okay, Mr. Right. Okay, thank you. You are dismissed. We'll see you September 7th.